Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Misuzu SUGA. Today, I'm here talking about stain of clothes. This is outline of my presentation. This presentation has 7 parts. Okay, let's start with the introduction. In our daily life, there were many types of stain. For example, soy sauce, ketchup, and ballpoint penning. In this research, I focus on this stain of clothes. First, I conducted a questionnaire on stain of clothes. The respondents were 90 people and all of them were students. Then, I asked, have you ever stained clothes? I predicted more than half of people answered yes. But surprisingly, all of people answered yes. This result shows that many people have trouble with the stain of clothes. And also, I often get clothes dirty because of stain too, so I decided to research the solution of stain. Next, I'm going to talk about my research question. This is my research question. How long does it take for the stain to settle? The reason I decided is to make it comfortable even if you stain clothes while going out, and many people know the good way to wash clothes, but I think that not many people know the time for the stain to settle, so I decided this research question. It is difficult to remove stain while going out because there is no detergent. However, if you know the time for the stain to settle, you don't have to panic about the stain of clothes. These are background and purpose of my research question. So far, I explained my research question. From here, let me talk about research of stain. Do you know there are 3 types of stain? Stain is class-wide: oily stain, water-soluble stain, and insoluble stain. Oily stain is a type of stain that dissolved in oil, such as chocolate and butter. And cosmetics such as lipstick and foundation are also of this type. Water-soluble stains such as juice and coffee that are easily dissolved in water. Insoluble stain is a type of stain not dissolved in water or oil and cannot be easily come off. For example, mud and rust. Now let's move on to experiment. I conducted the experiment about removal of stain, and I find the time for the stain it takes for the stain to settle. First, I'd like to talk about experimental method. This experiment has there were 4 procedures in my experiment. The first step is to intentionally make stain on a piece of cloth like these pictures. The type of stain used this time are coffee, soy sauce, and lipstick. Also, I used old cotton white tissues. The second step is to leave them for a certain time. And the third step is to remove stain of clothes by washing clothes with water in a bowl, like this video. I continued washing for 10 seconds, and I used 2 types of water temperatures, 10 and 30 degrees. Moreover, the reason for not using detergent is that it is experiment that assumed you make stain while going out. The final step is to check the degrees of dirty removal and compare them. In the next slide, I will show you the result of experiment. Let's start with coffee. The time from staining to washing is shown in black number. black number, and I experimented under many time conditions, but in this time, I will show you some time conditions that I picked up. And water is shown in a blue flame, and warm water is shown in an orange flame. Comparing water and warm water, you can see warm water is easier to remove stain than water. And in this experiment, I defined the time it takes for the stain to settle as the time when there is the greatest difference in the degrees of dirty removal. So I draw a line here. In other words, I found the time it takes for the stain to settle was 30 minutes to 1 hour. Next is soy sauce. Even if soy sauce, warm water is a little easier to remove stain than water, and I draw a line here. So the time it takes for the stain to settle was 10 to 30 minutes. Next is sauce. In sauce, there was no difference between water and warm water, and I draw a line here. So the time it takes for the stain to settle was 1 to 5 minutes. The last result is lipstick. Surprisingly, the lipstick stain barely removed. Also, there was almost no difference between 5 seconds and 5 minutes. So I found the lipstick stain settled. Settled in a moment. Furthermore, you can see the stain is more valid when using warm water than when using water. This slide shows you a summary of the overall result, and next let me talk about consideration. Coffee, soy sauce, and sauce are water-soluble stain, and lipstick is oil stained. The former is the time it takes for the stain to settle is long. On the other hand, the latter is short. Therefore, I found oily stain is easier for stain to settle than water-soluble stain. However, in this time, I used only one oily stain, so it was not good condition for the experiment. This is a point to improve. And in soluble stain, coffee and soy sauce is long, but sauce is short. I consider that this difference is due to characteristics of the liquid. Coffee and soy sauce are the thin liquid, and sauce is thick liquid. Therefore, I found thick stain is easier for stain to settle than thin stain. Finally, I'd like to talk about conclusion. My research question: how long does it take for the stain to settle? And the answer is, it varies depending on the type of stain. However, in this experiment, I found the time within about 1 hour. Next, I will talk about if you make stain while going out. I will show you 2 points. One is you should wash with warm water, and be careful of oily stain and thick stain. I hope you will not have trouble with stain of clothes. These are differences. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.